My name's Tony. I use he, him. I'm based out of Washington, D.C. Who here uses Splunk already? Nope. Okay. So, quick intro to Splunk, and then we'll talk a little bit about Edge Hub and how it fits into the puzzle. Splunk is big data. We are the dominant player in three main segments. One, security. Two, IT operations, keeping the web server up and running. And three, observability. We own those spaces and have for 20 years. That said, one of the things that has been very difficult to crack with all of today's data platforms, whether they're a database or a data platform like Splunk, is in fact the OT and IIoT space. That is, how do you get data from the manufacturing shop floor and from the data center and network closets in and make it valuable? Edge Hub is trying to crack this problem. Now, why does it matter? It matters because almost 40% year-over-year growth is predicted between now and 28 in this space. The general belief is that it is worth about $200 billion today. And more importantly is that most companies are moving OT security out of OT and into IT under the CISO. So these developments really tell us one important thing, which is there are real challenges that need to be solved. What are those challenges? First, lack of visibility across the entire process of manufacturing and data resiliency. Secondly, all right, so who heard the story about the smart fish tank at a casino here in Vegas? Anybody? So somebody broke into one of the casinos through a smart 170,000-gallon fish tank. Do you think that that fish tank was sending its logs to your SIM? Probably not. Right? It's a great example of this ever-increasing attack surface area. Another thing is that it is very difficult to fix things after they break. We all know that. We go change the oil in our car. You don't wait until the engine seizes up to do it. You do it on a regular rhythm. But more importantly is when the car makes a weird noise, you take it to the shop. So you're doing both preventative and predictive maintenance. Our fundamental belief is that you need to be able to monitor the IoT or OT, operational technology, and all of the data elements that it represents, and be able to crack the barrier between OT and IT. You need to be able to make that data more valuable by making it not just about keeping the factory floor up and running. You need to be able to merge that with the data that you already keep in Splunk. The largest organizations in the world use Splunk for a large variety of data elements. So it's really critical for us that they have an ability to take that same type of data and merge it together to make both data sets more valuable. And then lastly, again, it is cheaper by a factor of 4x to 10x, depending on the nature of your business, to fix things before they break rather than after they break. So, what do we have? Edge Hub is a physical object. It has great connectivity. It has cellular modem. It's got Wi-Fi, Ethernet, including PoE. It even has Bluetooth. So it's got all kinds of connectivity to talk to sensors and gateway technology that exists today. It has built-in software to be able to do SNMP, Modbus, MQTT, and even OPC UA. More importantly is that with each subsequent release, we're adding additional features and functionality. So you can imagine other protocols like BACnet in building management, or Profinet also on the factory floor. So we'll see that over time. It's IP66 rated, so that means that it can handle high-speed water jets and dust infiltration, so you can put it in really rugged environments, really critical. Now, all that matters because what's out in the real world is industrial sensors. Industrial sensors may be attached to your welding robot if you're a car manufacturer. Or, for that matter, you may just be even pulling data through OPC UA or SNMP off the power distribution unit on the bottom of your server racks. All of that data has value if you can free it up and get it in to the right places. So, what's that mean? I predict that there are two leading use cases that we will see this technology, not just Splunk, but other technology like this, excel in. The first and foremost is monitoring smart spaces, data centers, and network closets. Why? Today, network closets and data centers are generally not managed by IT. The physical space is managed by the OT or building management people, and oftentimes they have little or no connectivity and conversations with IT, the people who own the gear that's in those rooms. So, with all the great built-in sensor array that's in the box, but also our ability to talk to these industrial sensors, we have the ability to pull that data in and make it valuable. How so? Imagine a typical data center, and you've got power distribution units and UPSs. They probably talk OPC UA or SNMP. We've got HVAC systems, building management systems, fire suppression and control and monitoring systems. All of that data is typically blind to IT, the people who have the most interest in being aware of it. Splunk is clearly the way to solve these problems, but none of that matters if we can't get the data in the first place, and that's where Edge Hub comes in. This passively cooled device allows us to put it in those rugged environments and suck that data in and make it valuable over time. The second big use case is that of being on the production floor. Wherever it is and whatever it is you make as a company, where your company gets real value is in producing something. We believe that getting that data out of the OT space and being able to do AI at the edge, this simple device has not just got a quad-core ARM in it, it also has a neural processing AI chip in it. So we can do incredibly fast and incredibly accurate predictions, anomaly detections, and even recognition of objects in camera images and so forth. So all of that can come in through the device or by connecting to one of these industrial gateways or other sensor technologies. What's that look like in manufacturing? For those of you who are in manufacturing, you're familiar with the Purdue model. So this gives us the ability to pull things up through and monitor them all the way through that stack. To be able to pull data and see data all the way down at the PLC, to be able to see them at the management layer with probably OPC UA, but potentially other platforms like Modbus. Anybody in here play with SCADA? Right? SCADA generally means Modbus. It's the most frequent protocol. So again, the ability to pull data there. And none of it matters if you can't merge it together with the other data that you already have, security data, IT operations data, observability data. There's where the win is, because you can free this up so that both platforms, both data elements become more valuable because of it. And the last big use case is that our partners, and let me be clear, Edge Hub is sold exclusively through a select group of the Splunk Partner portfolio. Those people are putting together incredibly prescriptive and detailed solutions for precise problems and verticals. Those problems and verticals go across the spectrum of everything you might expect. Healthcare, where perhaps you want to pull data off of very expensive medical equipment. Not to be able to change it, because there are all kinds of rules and regulations about that, but at least to be able to know what its condition is, when it will need maintenance, and so forth. Energy and utility, again, HVAC systems or noise. There's stereo microphones built directly into the device, so it's easy for us to not just listen to loudness levels that we do today, but over time to be able to listen and for very specific noises. Maybe a squeak in a belt that tells you it's time to tension things. And one of the things that we're seeing is lots of our customers are struggling with an aging out workforce. And so their most experienced people, the people that can walk into the machine room and say, yeah, sometime tomorrow I'm going to need to tighten that belt, or we're going to have a problem. Those people are retiring, and they don't have the skill with the newer employees because they haven't been there for 30 years. They don't know what normal sounds like. We can program that into the device to be able to do things. Again, access to SCADA systems, data historians, and other kinds of things on the manufacturing floor. Telco systems. We had an interesting use case where turns out that almost all of the cell phone antennas are owned by one company. And much like an apartment building, individual spaces on that tower are rented out. And why do you care? Well, you care because if that tower gets hit by lightning, big, tall, pointy metal thing, right? You know, it happens, right? If it gets hit by lightning, that's a really bad thing, unless you've got great grounding. What happens, though, is the grounding rod will rust and become less useful. There are sensors for that. And we have an existing customer who's very interested in deploying Edge Hub to listen to the data that comes off of those sensors so that they can deploy their very limited amount of engineers only to the places where they actually need to do work, not just to the places where they need to go every 3 months because. Retail, you can plug a plain old $20 webcam directly into one of the USB-A ports in the back of this, and that gives you the ability to count people out of the box. Don't have to do anything. Plug it in, aim it at the space, it counts people. Why do you care? You're a retailer. You have a line up front. You probably want to know, when do you have too many people in the line? Is there something that you can do at an organic level for the company that says, I want to do the right thing, I want to make a change, how do we do staffing, and so forth. You can't really do that if you can't answer the fundamental questions, which are, how many people are in line? Right now, that's kind of a gut feel. I think about noon. That's not useful, right? Business should be driven by data. And lastly, you can imagine all kinds of things in, say, building management with elevator vibrations or ill behavior with the elevator management system on when it goes from floor to floor. Had this just the other day. Push the button, saw it come down, and immediately go back up after it came halfway down. So those kinds of things could be really easy to see and understand. All right, now Edge Hub is a much more complex topic than this. And to try and cover any such thing in 20 minutes is really crazy. So, my ask to you, we have a really great demo, 2 booths that way, right? Just behind us, 2 booths back, can't miss it, big, huge, pink and orange Splunk sign. Come visit us and watch the people painting the bucket hats. Why? Well, first off, it's just enthralling to watch them with their airbrushes. But more importantly, is that we've actually pulled the data off of that production line, big air quotes there, right? So that we can understand what happens. We have vibration data, we have air pressure data, we have all kinds of really beautiful, useful information that would help us manage that production line over time. And I encourage you to come take a look and see a demo as to how and why it matters. Okay? When you come visit us, look for the Edge Hub Pavilion. we'll interact with you and help you understand how Edge Hub might be able to engage with your specific needs for data resiliency, production resiliency, and business resiliency.